An outlaw who escaped the gallows by visiting the outhouse? It might sound like a tall tale, but this and other weird Old West stories are true. Western movies get certain things wrong about the Wild West, and some make funny Old West crimes sound like Hollywood inventions. However, one undeniable fact remains. Wild Bill Hickok indeed fatally shot a man who insulted his nose. Why was Jesse James called Dingus? Or how did Sitting Bull and Annie Oakley become friends? These weird Old West facts make the West seem even wilder. Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos. Geronimo ran at soldiers in a zigzag pattern. Before he became leader of the Apache, Geronimo lacked proficiency with a rifle. Instead, he devised a bold strategy to confront his armed adversaries. Geronimo's resolve for vengeance stemmed from a brutal incident where Mexican soldiers had massacred his wife and children. One night, Geronimo heard the mountain spirits tell him, "You will never die in battle, nor by gun. I will guide your arrows." In a subsequent encounter with Mexican soldiers, Geronimo chose not to rain arrows upon them from a secure distance. Instead, he employed a daring approach by charging towards his foes in a zigzag pattern so they couldn't fire at him. Closing in, Geronimo engaged the soldiers with a knife, disarmed them, and swiftly returned to his fellow Apache. The pattern repeated so many times that Mexican soldiers would cry out, "Geronimo!" when the Apache charged at them. Chief Sitting Bull sent $65 to Annie Oakley's hotel room. Chief Sitting Bull, the esteemed leader of the Lakota, who played a pivotal role in the defeat of General George Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn. But even Sitting Bull was impressed with Annie Oakley's shooting. In the year 1884, Sitting Bull had the opportunity to witness Oakley's shooting prowess during a performance in Minnesota. After seeing the show, the chief dispatched a sum of $65 to Oakley's hotel quarters, hoping for a signed photograph of the sharpshooter. But Oakley rejected the offer and instead extended an invitation to Sitting Bull for a face-to-face meeting. Oakley later recalled, "The old man was so pleased with me, he insisted upon adopting me, and I was then and there christened Watanya Cecilia, or Little Sure Shot." Later, Sitting Bull and Annie Oakley got to know each other better as part of Buffalo Bill Cody's Wild West show. In Oakley's own words, "He is a dear, faithful old friend, and I have great respect and affection for him." Calamity Jane was immune to smallpox. Smallpox was a serious disease in the Wild West, but one Old West legend survived smallpox and used her immunity to the disease to care for others. Although she had no training as a nurse, Calamity Jane took care of 8 sick miners. An eyewitness even declared Jane was a perfect angel sent from heaven when any of the boys was sick. And Deadwood wasn't the best place to catch smallpox. Infected individuals were isolated in rudimentary tents, devoid of basic amenities like running water. Instead of abandoning the sick, Calamity Jane relied on her knowledge of herbal remedies and Epsom salt to alleviate their suffering. In a display of unwavering determination, she even brandished a firearm to ensure that her patients had access to essential provisions, such as groceries and water. Thanks to her dedicated nursing, 5 of the 8 men managed to survive, earning the heartfelt acknowledgement of the town's doctors, who attested that without Calamity Jane's care, all 8 would have succumbed to the disease. The Crash at Crush. In the 1890s, a man named William Crush conceived a rather unconventional idea during his employment with a railroad company. His notion involved orchestrating an entertainment spectacle where 2 locomotives would collide head-on. In the pop-up town of Crush, Texas, on September 15, 1896, his plan became a reality when 40,000 spectators flooded the area, temporarily making it the state's second biggest city. The dramatic event unfolded shortly after 5 p.m. when the conductors started both trains before leaping to safety. The massive engines hurtled towards each other, attaining speeds of up to 50 miles per hour, and then they slammed into each other. Tragically, the collision claimed the lives of 2 individuals, and numerous spectators sustained injuries as debris scattered in all directions. A photographer who snapped pictures even lost an eye. In the aftermath of the calamitous event, the railroad company fired William Crush, but as publicity poured in from the event, which made headlines around the world, the company rehired him. On his way to the gallows, Billy the Kid asked to use the outhouse. Billy the Kid was wanted in 1881 for shooting a sheriff in Nebraska and another man in a New Mexico saloon. With a $500 bounty on his head, Billy's fugitive existence took a fateful turn as he was eventually cornered and brought to trial. The trial didn't go Billy's way. The judge found Billy guilty, saying the outlaw would hang until he was dead, dead, dead. Billy responded, "You can go to hell, hell, hell." Facing the imminent gallows, Billy the Kid pulled off a daring escape. On April 28, 1881, he asked the deputy guarding his jail cell to take him to the outhouse. Seizing the opportunity, Billy swiftly liberated himself from his handcuffs, disarmed the deputy, and fled. Knowing the sheriff would be after him, Billy hid on the roof of the courthouse. When the sheriff ran up, Billy taunted, "Look up, old boy, and see what you get." Then he fired on the sheriff. With his escape nearly accomplished, Billy the Kid took a horse and hit the road. Wild Bill Hickok really did shoot a man for insulting his nose. The legendary tale of Wild Bill Hickok finds its origins in the year 1861, when Hickok found employment with the Pony Express in the state of Nebraska. During a confrontation with a customer, Hickok fired at the man. It was the infamous lawman's first slaying. What drove Hickok? The customer called Hickok Duck Bill, alluding to Hickok's distinctive pointed nose. The shooting claimed the lives of 3 men and put Hickok on trial, but the court acquitted Hickok, who went on to fight another day. According to other stories about the Wild West legend, Hickok wrestled a bear and fired at the center of the letter O on a poster from 50 yards away 6 times in a row. With such a formidable reputation, it came as no surprise that few men dared to engage in confrontations with Wild Bill Hickok. Old West saloons sold strychnine to thirsty cowboys. Cowboys, prospectors, and miners weren't too picky about their alcoholic beverages. In the Sierra Nevada region, for instance, saloons peddled a notorious beverage known as tarantula juice, a concoction laced with the toxic substance strychnine. However, strychnine wasn't the only harmful ingredient in the drink. It also contained wood grain alcohol derived from the distillation of turpentine. What happened to men who ordered tarantula juice? Initially, the strychnine gave them a burst of energy, akin to the stimulative effects of methamphetamine on the body. But as drinkers processed the concoction, their skin would begin to crawl as though tarantulas were running up and down their arms. That sensation was often followed by muscle spasms and lockjaw. Buffalo Bill Cody performed at Queen Victoria's Jubilee. Buffalo Bill Cody made the Old West into a show. In the year 1887, he took the Wild West on tour, traveling all the way to London to perform at Queen Victoria's Jubilee. He brought along more than 200 people, plus 180 horses, 18 buffalo, 10 elk, 5 Texas steers, 4 donkeys, and 2 deer. Once in Great Britain, the show nearly caused a diplomatic incident when Annie Oakley reached out to shake hands with the Prince of Wales. Fortunately, the future King Edward VII was so charmed by the show that he encouraged Queen Victoria to come in person to see it. Crowds of 30,000 came to the performances, eager to see the Old West up close. The Army imported camels to Texas. In 1855, the U.S. Army decided to import camels to Texas. Recognizing the suitability of the American West for these resilient creatures, the government procured a total of 75 camels from the Middle East. These camels were put to work at Camp Verde, where they played a crucial role in supply missions to San Antonio. However, the onset of the Civil War disrupted the camels' service as a government official opted to auction them off. The new owner then dispatched some camels to Nevada and California, while others were simply released into the wild. Initially, sightings of these camels were uncommon, yet in the 1880s, the Arizona Territory faced a terrible menace known as the Red Ghost. This mysterious entity was said to have trampled a woman, and another account even claimed it had devoured a grizzly bear. When miners encountered the Red Ghost and fired upon it, a startling discovery emerged. A human skull tumbled from the creature's back. After years of terrorizing Arizona, the Red Ghost was finally taken out, revealing that the menace was, in fact, a feral camel. Astonishingly, sightings of camels in the American West persisted well into the 20th century. Jesse James got the nickname Dingus. Everyone feared Jesse James, the notorious figure known for his audacious exploits in raiding trains, stagecoaches, and banks. According to a popular song, James was bold and bad and brave. However, Jesse James had an unusual nickname, Dingus. In June 1864, James swiped a saddle from a farmer who fired at him. Later that same month, while still nursing his wounds, Jesse experienced a rather unfortunate incident. In the process of cleaning a revolver, he accidentally discharged the weapon, resulting in the loss of one of his own fingers. In agonizing pain, James exclaimed, "Oh, ding it, how it hurts." His family gave Jesse the nickname Dingus in response. Medicine women like Dr. Quinn really were part of the Wild West. Dr. Michaela Quinn might be fictional, but women doctors cared for patients across the western frontier. With a high demand for medical practitioners, women successfully entered the competitive field of medicine during the Old West era. A prominent example is Bethenia Owens Adair, who pursued medical studies in Michigan during the 1870s before relocating to Oregon. In her quest to attend to patients, Owens Adair often found herself traversing overgrown trails and waded through floods. Another trailblazing woman, Mary Purvine, journeyed to the western frontier to practice medicine. Raised in New England, where she witnessed a woman doctor caring for her mother's broken arm, Purvine's determination led her to enroll in medical school at Willamette University. Her commitment to her patients knew no bounds, even when faced with challenging circumstances like navigating a snowstorm and a flooded river to deliver a baby. In recognition of her exceptional care, the child's parents chose to name their baby after Purvine. Seth Bullock and Al Swearingen from Deadwood were real people. Seth Bullock and Al Swearingen, often portrayed as adversaries in the HBO series Deadwood, were indeed real individuals in the historic gold mining town. Seth Bullock had previously resided in Canada, Michigan, and Montana before relocating to Deadwood. This former lawman established a hardware store in the bustling town, intriguing new customers with a unique auction featuring chamber pots. Over the course of 2 decades, Bullock tried to maintain order in the city. Similarly, Al Swearingen was also a real person. In 1876, Swearingen made his way to Deadwood, where he established the Jim Variety Theater, a dance hall that garnered immense popularity for hosting riveting fights. The Jim's nightly earnings sometimes reached an astonishing $10,000, a considerable fortune during the late 19th century. However, in actuality, the real Bullock and Swearingen found themselves at odds, effectively dividing the town along Main Street. Those aligned with Swearingen, known as the Badlands, left the rest of the town alone. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.